Hi everyone, so today's new Venture Mentor episode is going to be a little bit different because I felt like maybe you guys were sick of hearing me blabber on and on, so I brought in an expert to give us the dish this week. So I am here with Joaquin Gallardo. He is a business relationship manager with Wells Fargo Bank. He works in the DC metro market, and he manages business accounts ranging from startups to companies with over $50 million in annual revenue, which includes managing their lending requirements. And he's been serving the business banking segment for the past 6 years, with the most recent 2 of those years at Wells Fargo. And he also currently serves on the George Mason University School of Management Alumni Board of Directors and is a founding member of the George Mason Business Roundtable. So I get tons of questions from you guys all the time about asking for advice about how to get a loan, and instead of me answering them myself, I'm going to turn it over to Joaquin because he is the expert. So Joaquin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
So maybe we could start out with you telling us a little bit about what exactly your role is at Wells and how you can help small businesses.
Certainly. I like to look at myself as the quarterback between a business relationship with the bank and the various departments we have within the bank. So primarily with a small business, what do you need a bank for? Well, you have money coming into a business and money leaving a business, and all that requires bank services. And so money coming in could be payments coming in, checks, credit card payments. Money going out are payments to vendors, which goes wires, checks, and ACH for payroll. So money coming in and money coming out is where I interact with business. As you mentioned, Cate, yeah, I absolutely do. We handle loan requests all the time to finance business. Understanding the cash flow cycle of a business is incredibly relevant, particularly as it relates to money coming in and money coming out. It gets tied up in places like inventory, into accounts receivables, and we help manage the shortcomings in order to meet payroll and vendor payments, etc.
So obviously there are a lot of things it sounds like you or some of your colleagues at the bank could help small business owners with, and so hopefully my viewers will pay attention to that and maybe have a conversation with their banker about something other than a loan every once in a while to see where they might be able to make things a little bit more efficient. But since everybody is always asking me about loans, I think we're going to focus mostly on that. So if a small business is coming to you looking for a loan for their company, what do you look for when evaluating a loan candidate?
Well, the first thing that we focus on are just people. And then we look at their actual requests, their actual need, and then we look at how we can structure something for them. So the first thing that we look at, like I said, are people, like the people behind the business. How long they've been in business, their history, what led them to start a business, and then looking into the business itself. A business loan gets repaid by cash generated by a business. So this comes down to cash after expenses. Essentially, the profits will repay the principal on a loan. And so what we look at are how does that cash generation engine work? How are you managing your expenses? How are you managing the top line, your operating expenses, and your bottom line? And really getting underneath that is the first thing that we look at, because then we can trust and rely on a business to continue generating cash. And that way we can structure a loan and begin to understand the cash flow shortcomings and make sure that we have a loan that is more than likely going to be repaid.
Okay, cool. So what are some of the most common mistakes that you see entrepreneurs make when they come in looking for a small business loan that causes them to get turned down?
The first is bad credit. If you're a business owner, it's absolutely understandable, particularly small business owners. You know, you're so focused on your business and you're so focused on starting essentially your dream and babying it through that who doesn't miss a credit card payment by accident? So that's not really an issue. The credit comes in when you're just chronically behind on other things. That it speaks to character, to the sense of how important is it to you to repay your lenders. And if it's not important to you, it kind of shows on there. So that's the primary thing that we see. So you have to really pay attention to that going into it. You have to make sure that that you're making that you're fulfilling your obligations. The next thing that we see that we the next big issue that we see are distributions. As your business grows and you become successful, you have to really pay attention that you're not treating the company as your money. It's the company's money. Absolutely, you're doing this to make a living and develop a return. But if you're taking too much money out to support a lifestyle that you're then requesting a loan for, so you don't want any bank to think that we're going to be funding your distributions. And that's put very blatantly, and that's not really something that we'll say to anybody's face, but you have to be really aware of how you're coming off in their loan requests.
So,
I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
So yeah, those are the two big things that we look at. We pay attention strong to distributions and credit.
Okay. Perfect. So you mentioned obviously keeping money in the business and trying to maintain good credit, but are there any other things that business owners should start doing now to properly position themselves if they think they're going to need a loan in the future, maybe a couple of years from now?
Absolutely. You want to focus on your books, on your accounting. When you present financial statements to a bank, we see them every single day. So we know they're easy to tell when they're sloppy. So you want to keep your books, not just for the bank, but also for yourself. You want to be able to really understand your own financial statements, answer questions on them, speak to them, because your interaction with the business is every single day. They're right in the trenches. Sometimes looking at financial statements will help you see your business from a bird's eye point of view to help get you insights that you wouldn't see because it's too close. And as you develop your financial statements and expand, you want to prepare yourself. You want to find a good CPA to help you with the books, to set them up. Yes, they're expensive, but in the long run, they're worth every penny. So you don't want to cut too many corners on that end of it. That good relationship with the CPA will help you tremendously when you're applying for your first loan. Having your banker be able to ask the more complex questions in a conversation between yourself and your CPA, who knows and understands your business and the cash flows of your business, will go a long way, because there's someone there also vouching for you from a professional aspect. So as you prepare your books in the long run and you understand how that looks, it'll help with the presentation to the bank to be able to extend credit.
So if a business owner ends up somehow in a pinch and they really need money right now, but they don't necessarily have the best credit, is there just no hope for them going to a bank, or is it still worth it for them to go and talk to someone like you and see what can be done?
All right, and I should have said this before too as you prepare. As you start growing, you should really develop a relationship with your banker. You don't need a banker only for loans. You need a banker for all the other services a bank will provide, with money coming in and money going out. And so if over time that relationship is really fostered with your banker and they understand your business, then that's a lot of work that's already done when looking at that first loan request. So when you're really in a pinch, your banker at that point can jump through the necessary hoops to be able to get it done for you. And this goes back to the other portion as well. If you are on top of your books, then you understand your cash flows from a bird's eye point of view, and you should be able to see a cash need coming in the future as you grow. Your CPA would have been able to help you with that as well. But all that said, there are short-term loans that you can get relatively quickly. By relative, you should really anticipate a loan request to take between a month to 90 days. You should allow yourself for that much time so that you aren't in a pinch. There are short-term solutions, but those are much more difficult. They will be extraordinarily time-consuming for you as a business owner and for your banker. So you want both to have already been committed to each other at the beginning for when you are in a pinch. I see a lot of time people don't take advantage of credit cards. Now, in terms of a small business, you don't want to ever rely on them. Credit cards have high interest rates. They have, and you wouldn't pay them off monthly. They are only ever designed to be short term. Their interest rates are too high, and you don't want to get accustomed to some kind of rewards unless you really are paying them off month to month. And through a credit card program, they may be in the pinch, your best chance to get some kind of quick funding, as those limits can be increased much quicker. But once again, that involves maintaining good credit and good standing and repayment history with the bank or repayment history with the credit card. But that's definitely another tool in the arsenal. They won't go. The limits to the credit cards won't go too high, but they can help some.
Awesome. Well, all of these are great tips. Do you have any last words of wisdom for entrepreneurs out there?
Absolutely. Just work hard, bootstrap. Don't pay too much attention to the top line. You can grow your revenue year over year, 200, 300%. But if the bottom line doesn't show it, then that was work done for no reason. If your revenues grow slowly, but you're still profitable throughout that time and you're retaining your profits in your company, then that is the best source of internal funding. You want to use a bank and a bank line of credit and credit cards. That's a great safety net. But truly, it is cheapest and best for a strong company to be able to fund themselves through internal generation of cash flow.
Awesome. So thanks so much for coming and helping us out and giving us these tips today, Joaquin. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for your invitation, Kate. It was a pleasure being here with you today.
Did you find this video helpful or fun? Then share it with a friend who you think would benefit from the dish, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter and Facebook and subscribe to my channel on YouTube so you never miss any of the latest tips, tricks, and tutorials to help your business grow. And you get to see my adventures through the wide world of entrepreneurship and how I use the freedom running my own business gives me. Also, remember to head over to Costa.com so you can get in on the conversation about how to build your business to success so you can live your life your way.